Welcome back to Makeup Declutter number 9. And I think that I can finally say that most of my makeup collection has been decluttered. Most of the collection that is left are new and things that I would never part with. So this is stuff I am decluttering. The next declutter you will see will be a nail polish declutter because, like I said, I'm pretty sure my makeup collection is about done. So let's just jump right in. I have a couple sponges that I never use, and they're the mini ones. They're super cute, but I did get a set or two recently that has some minis in it, so I'm going to declutter these. A bunch of eyeliners, liquid pencil and eyeshadow pencils as well in here. AOA Studio Perfect Setting Powder. And this is brightening. I do like this, but I like a peach powder better, and I just have a lot of loose powders right now. The LA Colors pressed powder in Nude. I believe this is the compact my mom enjoys using, so I'm going to declutter that. It's brand new. Revlon Sunlit Dream. Honestly, I couldn't believe I was going to get rid of this because I searched, and I believe I actually ordered this online. I was excited to have it, but when I swatched all my highlighters, this didn't compare to a lot of my favorites, so I'm going to declutter this. Lip glosses, creamy matte lips, lipsticks, some stuff like that I'm not using, and these Wet n Wild lipsticks, and there's an AOA Studio one in there too. I didn't think I would ever part with these, but I do know that you can buy these in these shades right now for $2 each. So I figured if I get to miss in any of these shades, I will just repurchase that. I think the one I'm going to miss most is Black Cherry, which I think at the time I still have that in my collection. I just got rid of most of the other ones. I've had them for a while. I don't reach for them as often as why. Blushes and stuff. I really enjoyed this Believe Beauty Get Glowing Highlight and Contour Palette, but it is kind of dark on my skin tone, and but the blush is absolutely stunning, so I really did enjoy that. And for a period of time I really enjoyed this Broadway Powder Cheek Palette, and I almost want to keep it for the highlight, but I decided to declutter it because I swatched a bunch of my stuff, and a lot of it is similar to these blushes and stuff, and I can dupe the highlight, so it's okay. Same thing with this. I really didn't want to part with this, but I ended up parting with my ombre blushes. I never reached for them. They are kind of unusual, so not something that I would reach for, and I just was keeping them. They were taking up space. Another Believe Beauty product, not that I didn't like this, it's a creamy product, and I hated it for the eyes. This is for the eyes. It creased on my eyes. I didn't like it for that. But I did use this for a cheek highlight for an extended period of time, actually. Very nice and creamy, but I don't reach for it now. Same thing with this. I used to love this so very much. I used to use it all the time. And it's the highlight from, it's the Master Highlight from Maybelline Face Studio. And it's more like a bronzer. It's a light bronze, but it's so beautiful when all these shades are mixed together. And in the summer especially, I love bronzy cheeks, so you can see this kind of dented in a little bit. I've used this quite a bit, but I don't use it anymore. Same thing with this Malibu Glitz Mauve. Didn't think I would ever part with this, but once again I went through all of my stuff, swatched everything, and if I had something similar or that I liked better, I decluttered. Same with the lipsticks, everything. Last but not least, Decluttering Eyeshadows. These are always the toughest for me, this and lip products. As you've seen in the makeup inventory, eyeshadows and lipstick are my two favorite things in my collection, so it's hard for me to declutter those things. But I had to. I'm not using this stuff anymore. And honestly, I almost decluttered all of these Wet n Wild palettes, but I didn't. I did declutter Petal Pusher. I have a lot of other purple stuff that I like a lot better. I never reach for this anymore. The e.l.f. Berry Bad Quad. Not that I didn't like this. I really enjoyed it. I just have come up with the looks that I'm going to. And I have other palettes that are full of warm tones, so I'm going to declutter that. Another palette that I liked, but I also didn't like as well, and that's the Physicians Formula Butter Eyeshadow Palette in Sultry Nights. Beautiful color story. The shades, a lot of them were very hard to work with. Some of them didn't want to come up and wasn't pigmented at all, at least in my palette. The mattes are very nice. I did do a look or two with this, and I will link my favorite one in the cards because I absolutely love it. But overall, I never reached for it because these were difficult to work with. My mom commented on this palette here in some tutorials, so I'm going to pass that along to her. And this is the CoverGirl Dazed palette from Clean Color. I just don't reach for these anymore. I think they are absolutely fantastic palettes. If you see these and you want to try them, definitely recommend them. They are so good. But this warmer toned one and this colorful one, very beautiful color stories in both of them. They are so nice. But once again, I have 78 large palettes. Like, I can dupe any of these shades I want, more than likely. And these were really difficult to get rid of as well. But once again, I have a lot of other Maybelline that I like and that are newer than this, that are more pigmented than this, that blend easier than these. So I'm going to let them go. Maybelline Blush Nudes, the 24K Nudes, the Nudes, and the Rock Nudes. Was very difficult mostly to get rid of this one and the Blush Nudes. But once again, I can dupe these, and I swatched some of their newer palettes, and some of these shades can be found in those. So this is embarrassing. I forgot a whole entire box of makeup I'm decluttering. Yeah, a whole entire box of makeup that I was meant for makeup declutter number 9. So I'm just going to add this in here. I'm decluttering the Maybelline Color Show loose shadows I have. The last of the Sinful colors, just because I know I'm more than likely just not going to use them. These Odor Hard Candy, like this one's been loved so much. So much. I hate to part with it, but this stuff is sitting in the drawer, never getting used. And a lot of it I was just hanging on for like sentimental, but I have a different mindset now. So that's why we're just trucking on with the declutters. An unused, unopened soft lips. Physicians eyeliner, Physicians Formula, a glitter eyeliner. Over here, I never thought that I would part with this. I love this. This was when I really become into like pinup 1950s kind of style makeup. This is what I bought. This is what I used. I still use this occasionally. And it was been in a couple project pans. So that is Almond Satin from Maybelline. Love this. If they still have it, definitely try it out. It's awesome. Another one, Designer Chocolates from Maybelline. Thought I'd never part with this, but I just never reached for it, and I was just hanging on to it to be hanging on to it. Believe Beauty Eyebrow Powders. These don't really work for my eyebrows. I was just kind of making them work for video purposes. So I'm going to let this go for now. I'm going to let this go now. Maybe my mom or my grandma can get some use out of this. LA Colors, Smoky Palette, Flashy Palette, Stunning Palette. Mainly because I don't reach for these, and I got the Smoky Eye palette and stuff. I feel like some of these shades can be duped in some palettes that I kept from LA Colors. And if I'm going to continue to buy new LA Colors, new Wet n Wild collections and stuff when they come out, and that goes for any brand like Maybelline even, then eventually I'm going to have to start coming to a point where I can let go of this stuff. I know, it seems so ridiculous. I feel like I've been through makeup therapy or something now. I don't know, but I'm decluttering. I want to say this is probably one of the few last 5 pans I had. This highlighter, I never used it. It can be duped also. This Lemon Grove, I wanted to keep it, but I don't need it. It's old too. The LA Colors Matte, which I thought these were great when they first came out. I really liked them, but never reached for it. This LA Colors, this is one of the best LA Colors palettes I've ever used and tried, and I have used a lot of LA Colors, but once again, I never reach for it anymore, so I'm going to pass that along. And I never ever thought, like, hanging on to the Maybelline palettes, that I would ever get rid of these Wet n Wild palettes. But with the Wet n Wild 40 pan palette, I pretty much can dupe a lot of the shades that you see here. And I'm going to let these go because of that. So, Pride, Lust, Vanity, and Greed. Bye. You've done me well. Thank you for the service, but you have to go now. Snow Sprite, Night Elf. This was a MAC dupe, so I hung on to this. The I'm Feeling Retro with Stars and Rockets dupe. But I don't need that. This one, Dancing in the Clouds. Silent Treatment. Actually, really loved this one, but I just never reached for them. And once again, that 40 pan palette has made me able to let go of a lot of my Wet n Wild odor stuff, because I really hate parting with these four, but I know that I can dupe them. Sponges, Clean Colors Powder Puff, an AOA Studio Wonder Blender. I thought my mom might like this, because I literally have a drawer full of these sponges, and her favorite color is purple, so why not send her that one. This is a Z palette, and it has random eyeshadows in there. Oh no! Anyways, that's from Airborne. That's like a $19 eyeshadow, and it's cracked. Anyways, that's Stila, MAC, and these are Revlon and Maybelline Wet n Wild. Yeah, these may go in the trash. Possibly, most likely. If my mom doesn't want them, they're definitely going to go in the trash. And last but final item is the Coastal Scents 88 Metal Palette, Metal Mania. And mainly because I know I never use this palette, like, ever. So I'm going to hang on to the 88 Matte and 88 Ultra Shimmer and my 120 palette. And those will never be used again. But sentimentally, I cannot let them go. So I can let this one go. So I think my sister will get a lot of use out of that. So this is Makeup Declutter number 9. I hope you enjoyed it.